Hello, and welcome to Live Parkinson's, Live an Exceptional Life. I'm your host, Chris Custenbonner, and I've been living an exceptional life with Parkinson's for the past 15 years. And the mission of this podcast is to help those living with Parkinson's to lead a great quality of life. Today, we're talking about something that affects almost everyone with Parkinson's, but somehow still gets treated like a side note, and that's pain. In addition to pain, all those sneaky, weird, under-recognized sensory symptoms that we experience that make us feel like, is there something wrong with me? What's going on? So if you've ever felt burning, tingling, aching, freezing, stabbing, buzzing, tightness, or the classic, my shoulder is killing me, I wish I had a new shoulder, then this episode is for you. Now, if you haven't felt any part of that yet, don't worry, you're not missing out. So let's talk about pain and Parkinson's, which is, I like to call the hidden giant. Because pain is one of the most common non-motor symptoms in Parkinson's, and it affects 60 to 85% of the people living with Parkinson's. Yet for decades, it was barely mentioned in the textbooks. Why? Well, because Parkinson's was viewed as a movement disorder and not a sensory disorder. And the modern research has flipped that script. Now we see that it's both a movement and a neurological or a sensory disorder. And there was a study that was published called Pain in Parkinson's Disease, a Review by Dr. Tanazzi in the Journal of Neurotransmission in 2016. And what she did is she broke pain down into 5 distinct categories in Parkinson's. Number 1 was musculoskeletal pain, and that's caused by rigidity, posture changes where our shoulders start to slump, and then reduced arm swing. Now, I don't know about you, but when I go for a walk, my left arm just hangs and doesn't swing. Number 2 is dystonic pain, and that's from painful muscle contractions that you often experience during your off periods. I know a lot of times I'll get real cramping in the soles of my feet where my feet will almost bend, and it causes some terrible pain, and I have to sit and work out the muscle is so tight, and that causes pain. So that's dystonic pain. Next up is neuropathic pain. And that's where you feel burning, tingling, or electrical sensations. I know there's times where I feel like my fingers are tingling, or I notice some burning in my toes, and you're thinking, what's going on here? Is there something wrong with me? So that's neuropathic pain. And then radicular pain is nerve compression pain. So if any of you have ever experienced sciatica, where you have that pain shooting down the back of your leg and it makes it hard for you to stand up, that would be radicular pain, where the nerve can be compressed. And then finally, a central pain. That's where your brain amplifies pain signals. So your brain takes a pain and it just amplifies it. So the key takeaway from the study is that dopamine plays a major role in pain modulation. So when dopamine dips, pain sensitivity is going to rise. All right, we've talked about pain and the 5 types of pain in Parkinson's. Now let's talk about the sensory symptoms that nobody talks about. And let's get into some of these under-recognized sensory symptoms, and these are often get misdiagnosed or dismissed. The first one is internal tremor sensations. And I have a friend that has experienced this. He says it feels like his insides are vibrating, or he's almost like a nervousness, but nothing else is moving. It's just this internal vibration. So that's one of the symptoms. Another is burning, tingling, or electric sensations. And this often gets mistaken for neuropathy or nerve pain. But Parkinson's can also cause altered sensory processing. So if you feel tingling in your hands and feet, or burning, or electric sensations, maybe you feel like you have these electrical pulses going up your leg or up your arm, that would be a burning or tingling sensation or electric sensation. Temperature dysregulation. This is when you can feel cold when others are warm, or vice versa. I know I experience this a lot of times. I'll be in a room with people and I'll say, my gosh, it's hot in here. I'm sweating. And they look at me like, I think it's pretty comfortable in here. And then there's times where it's cooler outside, but I get where I start to shiver, and it's almost like I can't stop shivering. It's uncontrollable shivering. And that's from the temperature dysregulation. So I don't know if any of you have experienced it, but that's another one of these sensory symptoms. Another one is one I experience as well, and that's restless leg symptoms, where you feel like you're laying in bed and you feel like you have to move your legs, or you have weird sensations in your legs that make you want to move them, whether it be tingling or whatever it happens to be. I know I experience that frequently. And I talked to my doctor about it, and he was able to give me some medication to help me with that and to help me sleep better. And then next is skin sensitivity or pain to touch. Some people, their skin becomes very sensitive or painful to touch. Yeah, where even light pressure, someone pushing or you're pushing on it yourself, can feel very uncomfortable. So those are some of the different sensory sensations that you may feel that often get dismissed. So if you have those, you might want to bring those up and talk to your doctor about it. And there was actually a study that were called Sensory Symptoms in Parkinson's Disease, Clinical Features and Pathophysiology, that was published in Movement Disorders in 2019. And what this study highlighted was that sensory symptoms are highly prevalent but poorly recognized in Parkinson's. Secondly, they correlate with dopamine loss in sensory pathways. So as the dopamine goes down, you might experience more of these sensory symptoms. They often worsen during off periods. So both pain and these sensory symptoms often correlate well with your off periods, and they strongly predict a lower quality of life. All right, that's all nice, but what's the brain actually doing? So let's try to break down the science in plain English. Well, first, dopamine helps to regulate our pain signals. So low dopamine equals amplified pain. So as we're moving towards the off period and our dopamine's dropping, we might experience more pain and more intensity of pain. Number two, rigidity and posture changes can cause mechanical pain. When your shoulders start to slump, you start to bend over, your arm doesn't swing, you can that can cause strain on your muscles, or you're walking not in balance. That can strain your muscles, and then that can also put pressure on your joints if they're achy, and that's going to cause mechanical pain. And then autonomic dysfunction, that causes these sensory weird symptoms that we feel. That could be temperature swings where now I'm really hot, now I'm really cold. It could be those internal tremors that I talked about where you feel like your insides are vibrating. And then skin sensitivity, as I mentioned, would be another one of these weird symptoms that are controlled by our autonomic nervous system. And to support that, there was a study called Altered Pain Processing in Parkinson's Disease that was published in the journal Brain in 2005. And this study used functional MRI to show that people with Parkinson's have increased pain sensitivity, that pain processing regions activate differently in people with Parkinson's, and that dopaminergic medication reduces pain sensitivity. So when you're taking your dopamine, and whether your carbidopa, levodopa, when you're on, you may have less pain sensitivity than when you're wearing off. Okay, all this is wonderful, but how can we take what we just learned and put that into action so that you can manage your pain on a daily basis? Because pain and sensory symptoms in Parkinson's are real, they're disruptive, but they're often unpredictable. Again, a lot of times they're associated with our off periods, but they're also highly manageable when you have tools to be able to do that. So let's give you 10 different tools that you can use to help you to manage your pain and your sensory symptoms. Number one is to track your pain patterns like a scientist, because pain is going to become easier to manage when it becomes data instead of mystery. So when you can actually show your neurologist or movement disorder specialist the types of pain you're having, when you're having them, that type of thing, they're going to be able to make better decisions in your care. So you want to track the time of day, what type of pain you're having. Is it muscular pain? Is it neuropathy type pain? Is it restless legs? Or what type of pain is it? Where's the location of the pain? Is it in your knee? Is it in your joints? Is it in your back? Is it in your muscles? Where's the pain coming from? And then intensity, rated on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being no pain and then 10 being so severe you can't really stand it. And then on-off status. Are you experiencing most of the pain when you're in the off status or on status, or it doesn't really matter? And then activity at the time. What were you doing? Did you just get done playing pickleball? Did you get done lifting weights? Were you just sitting there when the pain started? Were you walking? What type of activities were you doing? And then what helped? Did you use NSAIDs like ibuprofen or Tylenol to help manage the pain? Did you use ice or cold therapy? Anything that helped manage the pain you want to share with your doctor, because that's going to help them treat and manage your pain. So why it matters is because neurologists love patterns, and a pain log is going to help them adjust your medication timing and help you identify dystonia or any and any off-related type of pain that you may be experiencing. Number 2 in the toolbox is move daily. So even 10 minutes a day can help change the pain processing because movement's going to reduce rigidity, it's going to improve dopamine efficiency, and it's going to enhance pain modulation. So try to have a morning mobility routine. Maybe it's you wake up and you stretch and then you do some balance exercises. Maybe it's Tai Chi. You get up and you do some slow, gentle movements to get yourself loosened up and stretched out, or you do yoga or chair yoga. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe you walk for 15 or 20 minutes just to loosen up. Maybe some people do dance therapy. Maybe they do real light dancing to help loosen their joints and reduce their pain. And then there's also Parkinson's specific classes that you can do. Boxing, cycling, bunch of different Parkinson's classes that are available out there. But the key is you don't need to be an athlete. You just need to be able to move because that's going to help regulate and improve your dopamine efficiency. And the more dopamine you have, it usually equates with less pain. Number 3, heat and cold therapy. So these are simple tools that can offer big relief. Heat often helps with rigidity, muscle tightness, and dystonia. And cold often helps with burning sensations, neuropathic pain, and inflammation. And then some people benefit from contrast therapy where they alternate between hot and cold. Now, before you start any hot or cold therapy, always consult your healthcare professional to make sure that the hot or cold therapy that you're using is appropriate for you and it's appropriate for the pain or the symptoms that you're trying to treat. So make sure that they're aware of what you're doing. Number 4 is massage, myofascial release, and physical therapy. Massage reduces pain, it improves your mobility, and it decreases your rigidity. Now, there's some different options. I go see a massage therapist once a month, get a massage, and it really helps to loosen me up, helps to reduce stress, and I'm able to move a lot better when I'm done with a massage. So that's an option. The next is you can, if your insurance covers it, go see a physical therapist because they can do some massage and manipulate. And then foam rollers. You've probably seen these at fitness centers, or you can buy them online, a foam roller where you can lay on your back and roll on the foam roller to help get out some of the knots and kinks in your back. You do the same thing with the back and front of your legs as well. There's massage balls. A lot of times people have seats or cushions that they can buy that have these massage balls in that you plug in and you set it and the massage balls will move up and back or vibrate. And then there's handheld devices. I have one of these myself. It's a massage gun that if you have a tight space, it's got a foam rubber ball or a plastic rubber on there. You can focus on an area with that. That's another good option. And insurance often covers, physical therapy-based manual therapy as well. So that's number 4. Number 5 is cognitive behavioral therapy. I did a podcast on this. I've done cognitive behavioral therapy myself. And cognitive behavioral therapy helps retrain the brain's pain interpretation pathways. So some of the benefits of CBT are that it helps reduce your pain intensity. It helps improve coping. It gives you coping skills on how to deal with pain and how to lessen the focus on the pain. It helps to lower your anxiety because a lot of times when you're anxious, that's going to increase your pain level. And it helps your brain turn down the volume. It helps reduce the stress, lowers your anxiety, and it helps you turn the volume down on your pain a little bit. Because pain's not in your head, but your brain can help manage it. Number 6 is sleep optimization. That's your brain's overnight pain reset because poor sleep increases pain sensitivity. So some tips: have a consistent bedtime. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Limit screens. Try not to use a computer, tablet, phone, and watching TV about an hour before bed because the blue light's going to affect your sleep-wake cycle. Weighted blankets. Some people use weighted blankets to help reduce stress and keep them calm. Cool room. Set the room to a cooler temperature because it's easier to sleep in a cool room than it is when the room is really hot and stuffy. And then have some relaxation routines. Some people like to take a warm bath. Some people like to drink warm milk. Some people like to stretch before bed. Some people like to read. Whatever it happens to be, have some type of relaxation routine because sleep is going to help restore your dopamine pathways. Number 7 is medication timing and off-period management because pain often spikes during your off periods. So you want to discuss with your neurologist or your movement disorder specialist about potentially adjusting timing of your medication so that you're on more than you're off, and maybe adding booster doses if they think that's appropriate to help you stay in the on period more often. There's extended release options out there for a lot of the different medications that they may prescribe for you, and dystonia specific strategies. If you're experiencing a lot of dystonia, make sure you let your healthcare professional know, and they can give you some strategies to help manage that. So you're asking them to help you manage your pain and your sensory symptoms and give you a better quality of life. Number 8 is posture correction and alignment work. Parkinson's posture changes can cause shoulder, neck, back, hip, and even rib pain because your shoulders start to slump, your neck starts to bend down. A lot of times your hip becomes out of line. You start to have rib pain because you're not standing up straight. So some tools to help you with this is you can go see a physical therapist. They'll give you some work on how you can improve your posture. They'll give you some exercises. Core strength training. So work on developing your core stomach and back muscles because that's going to help you with your posture, and it's also going to help you with your balance. Wall posture resets, where you stand against the wall, make sure you push your back flat against the wall and try to keep your shoulder blades against the wall. That's going to help you maintain that straight posture. Try to sit in an ergonomic chair. Rather than sitting in a chair and slumping over, ergonomic chairs help you maintain that good posture. And if you need to, there's lumbar cushions. If you need some for your lower back support to help give you posture, those are available as well. Now, it isn't your posture you're misbehaving. It's adapting so that you're helping yourself by helping to try to improve your posture. All right, number 9 is stress reduction, because stress is going to amplify your pain. Stress increases your pain sensitivity. So try things like meditation or mindfulness, breathing exercises where you breathe in through a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, and then breathe out for a count of 4. Going outside for nature walks or just an outdoor walk, looking around and seeing what you see, staying in the present moment. Those all help to reduce stress. Music therapy, whether you play an instrument and that's a therapy for you, or whether you like to just listen to music because maybe certain songs help to reduce your stress. So music therapy is another great way to do it. Maybe you like to sing. Singing can help reduce stress. Journaling, where you write down what's bothering you and then some action steps to help improve how you're going to go forward. So you can write down what you're experiencing, but then have a gratitude journal saying, but here's some things I'm grateful for. That helps reduce stress. Support groups. If you feel that stress is becoming overwhelming, seek out a support group where you can talk to others about it. And then laughter. This is one of my favorites because I like to laugh all the time. I love to watch funny movies. I like to watch comedians or just hear people tell funny jokes. Laughter, I always say, is the best medicine. So it's a free dopamine supplement. And then number 10 in the toolbox is advocate for yourself, because you deserve pain management. So if you go to the doctor and they try to dismiss your pain, maybe try saying one of these. Pain is a recognized non-motor symptom of Parkinson's. Can we please address it? Or my pain increases during off periods. Can we please review my medication timing? And then can we screen for dystonia, because I'm having a lot of dystonia and it's causing some painful muscle contractions, and I'd like to be able to help myself with that. Because self-advocacy is going to lead to better care and better outcomes, because they're there to help you and they want to help you, but they need the data and the information to be able to do that. All right. So as we conclude, you're not imagining it and you're not alone. Pain and sensory symptoms in Parkinson's aren't side notes. They're central characters in the story, because they're going to affect mood, mobility, your sleep, your independence, and your quality of life. And for far too long, they've been overlooked, minimized, or misunderstood in the Parkinson's community. But here's the empowering truth. You can understand them. You can manage both pain and the sensory symptoms. You can reduce them, and you can advocate on your behalf with confidence. So now you know that pain in Parkinson's is common, and it's scientifically recognized. That those sensory symptoms that you're feeling are real, and they're rooted in the dopamine pathways. So those internal tremors or those burning, tingling, electric sensations, they're real symptoms. Your brain plays a role, but you're not imagining anything. So remember, your brain can help manage pain. There are tools, practical, accessible, and effective, those 10 that I just talked about. And then you have a community so that you're not walking this path alone. All right. So your Parkinson's journey may include pain, which I hope it doesn't. But if it does, it doesn't have to define your life. Remember, you're strong, you're capable, and now you're informed. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day. Stay healthy, stay strong, and keep living your best life with Parkinson's.